Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, our dear friends and family. Welcome to our next episode of Conversation Around a Table. And this time we have Flower Bee joining us. Do you want to say hi?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. And this time we are discussing hidden illnesses. So, as you know, I've recently been diagnosed with some hidden illnesses because people don't see, when they look at me, they don't think anything's wrong.
There's nothing on the outside.
Yeah, and that's really infuriating because, and I think for me, what makes it worse for me is that actually I feel fine. I don't feel ill.
Yeah. I feel like you have certain days where you feel completely fine and then you have a diagnosis put in front of you and you're like, this doesn't make any sense.
Whatsoever.
It's just on paper.
Yeah. So I was recently, I'm going to go on and disclose what I've got.
Mm-hmm.
No pressure. Okay. So I have chronic kidney disease. I'm currently at stage 3 and my kidneys are working at just 50% at present, which is a little bit tricky. Not the best of things to be finding yourself in, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they wanted to find out what was causing that, because it doesn't tend to happen unless there's any other symptoms. I didn't have any symptoms of anything else, like I didn't have high blood pressure, I didn't have any swelling, I'm not pre-diabetic, I'm nothing. I'm critically, I'm practically healthy, and they only picked it up because I went for one of my annual reviews. Because when you hit a certain age in this dear life, the doctors start to do what they call annual reviews, just to check how everything's working in your body. And then they said, we've noticed for the past couple of years that your kidney function has been declining, so we're going to send you to a consultant, nephrology it's called, I believe. So went along to that. He did some more tests, and then the next thing I know, he's calling me back up and he's saying, I want to rerun the test because something's not right. Your kidney function has dropped even further. So I'm trying not to panic, as you can imagine. And I'm like, okay, we'll redo the test. So I went back a week later and I saw him again, and he said, just to pre-warn you, if the results come back the same as last time, we're going to have to send you for a kidney biopsy. And I was just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Was that on the same day?
Yeah, that was on the same day. So I had that done on the Wednesday. And he didn't even call me. The next thing I know, I had the hospital on the phone on the Friday saying, you're in for a kidney biopsy on Tuesday.
Without telling you in between?
Yeah. And I was just like, what is going on? And all the time I'm feeling fine in amongst everything.
Yes.
I don't look unwell, but obviously only having 50% kidney function comes with complications, because your body's not the little filter. So I actually, the biopsy showed that I have a immune disease, and it's called IgAN for short, and I don't know the whole name of it. Anyway,
they have such long, complicated names.
It's called nephropathy or whatever.
No one can pronounce any of them.
Say it right at the end. And it's quite a rare immune disease, and that's what's caused it. And my kidneys are not filtering certain things as well as everybody else, somebody my age. So I am now on immunosuppressants, if that's how you say it, because I'm still learning that word as well.
Long words.
And also a long-term, what's the name of the thing? Steroid, a long-term steroid, because they don't normally like you on long-term steroids. So we're reducing my immune system, and then we're taking some pressure off the kidney so that it will delay how long it takes for the progress, for it to get worse, essentially. And I just think, how do you feel like when you have something hidden, and do you feel like you have to try and explain yourself to people?
people often ask me first.
Yeah.
So no one knew I was ill until I started using mobility aids.
Yeah.
And then people thought I'd been in like a fatal car accident because it kind of happened like overnight.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I kind of look like a road traffic accident. But then people asked me themselves. And to start with, I gave too much information to everyone because you don't feel like you can say no.
No, of course.
Especially in like a Christian setting.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like, because often when you ask for prayer, you're very open about everything. You feel like you need to be open about everything all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas that is not the case. And nowadays I'm more like selective with some people. I'll say like, look, I just don't want to talk about it. And some people I'll just give a small amount of details. And then there's always those close friends who like know everything about your life.
Of course.
So it really just depends. But I think to start with, I make it sound like it was a couple of weeks, but maybe for like a couple of years, I just was open to everyone because I felt like I owed it to them, which wasn't the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I started out with one medical condition, so they thought I had long COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In fact, I think I remember you mentioning that, you know.
It started off, so I had COVID 5 times.
Oh, gosh.
At the same time every year.
Really?
And then when the COVID vaccination came out, COVID is a sensitive topic, but when it came out, I didn't actually realise I had COVID at the time. So usually when you get a vaccination, obviously you don't have the active virus inside your body.
Yeah.
Whereas I had COVID and then got the COVID jab at the same time.
Oh, gosh.
And it caused me to be really unwell.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, I should have been in hospital, but it was in that time that like everyone was too scared to go into hospital because do you know what I mean? They didn't know what COVID was and
they didn't know.
They
weren't aware, were they?
No. So after that, like I was just really tired all the time. That was my only symptom.
Yeah.
And that was when I felt like I owed an explanation to everyone because I had to say no to a lot of things.
Yep.
But at that time, I still was saying yes to a lot of things I shouldn't have been because I was just used to being on full mode because I used to work for church. So
yeah,
I was basically busy 24/7. I'm trying to think. And then I gradually got more and more symptoms and got diagnosed with something called POTS.
Okay.
Which is a really long name. It stands for
do you know it?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'll go for it. It stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome.
Oh my gosh, like you've memorised that.
I know.
The only thing I can remember is nephropathy. If I can't even say it.
They need to have like, break it down. You know, like on Google when you type things in and like tells you how to say it.
Yeah.
You should just have that written down for people. But so POTS is a autonomic nervous system condition. So your autonomic nervous system, you have 2 parts of your nervous system in your body. So you have your central nervous system, which is like your spine.
Oh yeah.
And then you have your autonomic nervous system, which is basically all the nerves that go around that. So like they go into different parts of your body.
Yeah.
So the things, it's automatic. That's why it's called autonomic. So anything that you do which you don't think about, like breathing, sweating, heart rate.
Of course, that makes sense, actually.
That is everything that my body can't do.
Yeah.
So I had that and then got diagnosed with that. I feel like this is a long story, but got diagnosed with that like at the start of university. Well, I say I got diagnosed with it at the start of university. I got an appointment at the start of university, which was 2 years ago, and only got diagnosed in the February that's just been.
Oh, wow. So it's a lengthy process.
Yes, because with POTS, it's not uncommon, but because it mimics symptoms of anxiety, because part of your autonomic nervous system also includes your fight or flight and hormones. So it's often people are put on anxiety medication and they just think they have anxiety for the rest of their life.
Oh my gosh,
and
really?
They actually have a nervous system condition that can be very well treated on medication.
Wow, that's really interesting.
And I got that under control myself because I wasn't getting seen to.
Yeah.
And then started having joint pain and then got diagnosed recently in February again with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder, which most people, 80% of people who have EDS have POTS. It's very much linked.
Really? It's linked?
Because there's connective tissue in your nervous system.
Yeah.
And there's connective tissue in most parts of your body. So people think it's just my joints that dislocate, but I also have problems with my eyes. I have gum recession because there's connective tissue in your gums. I thankfully don't have this, but there's a type of EDS that affects your heart. Like, it's very extensive.
Wow.
I know. So I got diagnosed with that, and then often it's in a triangle. So like people who have EDS and POTS also have something called MCAS, which I have, which is like adding it on.
You've got like a notepad's worth.
So you didn't know this. I'm like, MCAS, if you think about when you have an allergic reaction, your body releases histamine, which is what makes you itch.
Oh yeah, of course, which is why you take antihistamines.
Exactly. With MCAS, your body just doesn't know what to do with itself, so you basically have an allergic reaction to anything it wants whenever. So I could be allergic to rice today and be completely fine with it tomorrow.
Wow.
But it also causes things like panic attacks and too much adrenaline, so I go into fight or flight overnight, so I wake up most mornings with panic attacks.
Wow.
But they don't bother me because I know what they are.
Now that, yeah.
I just get on with it. But yeah, and then recently I've
Get
been getting assessed for endometriosis.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a collection. I like collecting like Pokemon cards, but
illnesses.
Yeah, exactly. But these things, like, I don't think people realise that when you're diagnosed with one thing, you're often diagnosed with the things that come alongside it.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, but it took so long for doctors to take me seriously.
Oh.
So I'm glad I stuck with it, because right now I would be untreated on anxiety medication and just think I had a mental health disorder if I hadn't stuck with what I knew. So I just think it's
and we know our own bodies, don't we? Well, I thought I knew mine.
Literally, like, you know yourself best.
Yeah.
And it's so hard, because I'm not saying that I'm a strong person, but I'm very stubborn.
Yeah.
So like, I feel sorry for the people who are not stubborn and are very much like, they'll just go with what they're told. And then they're like, especially young people, because it's 80% of the POTS patients are female and under the age of 25.
Wow.
So it's a really difficult age, because I think doctors often think females are hysterical anyway, don't they? So, which are the best of times we are. But,
that's bizarre.
Yeah, it was difficult for my faith, because you kind of get over, especially because all these things happen at different times, you get over one hurdle
and then another hits you.
And another hits you, so you start trusting God with it, and then you're like, oh, there's another thing. And there was a period of time, I forgot about the whole and I left a big part out, which was the fact that I took some medication.
Yeah.
I got put on medication for POTS, and you know how they have like the nasty list of side effects on the back?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Basically all of them happened to me.
Oh.
So I started hallucinating.
Oh.
And started having seizures, which is why I had seizures for a year, and then, but thankfully they've now gone, because I got taken off the medication. But it's been a whole time.
Yeah.
So in that time it was like, I don't know, because I was working for my church in York.
Yeah.
Not working, but voluntarily, like I was on the student team, and I couldn't give as much as everyone else could.
Yeah.
Like leaving things early. Something that POTS does, it just makes you really sensitive to like loud noises, or like if you to drop something on the floor and it makes a loud noise, it would basically, your body would treat it like you being chased by a bear.
Overdrive, yeah.
Yeah. So like loud noises, especially in church, would really heavily it would make me tired, because my body would be listening to all the noise, whether I feel like I'm attending to it or not, like hearing it. So I just had to go home a lot of the times early, and they were very understanding about it. But when you feel like you're called to do something, like God has so clearly called me to be there, and then I'm like, well, what are you doing? Because you've called me to be in this place, but then I can barely do anything. So, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you ask all those questions, don't you?
Absolutely. I think for me as well. So one other thing, actually, I always, when they started looking, when they realised I had CKD, I was just like, I was quite insistent. I was just like, I would like you to check for autoimmune diseases.
Yeah.
Because I have an underactive thyroid, hypothyroidism. And quite often I discovered people with a thyroid condition can go on to have complicated autoimmune problems. So I was just like, do you know what? I'm going to get them to look at that.
Yeah.
And
good.
Although all the blood tests came back negative.
A lot of the tests do.
Yeah. So it wasn't until after when I was been sent for the puncture thing, you know.
No, I know what you mean.
The biopsy.
That we get there in the end, don't we?
When I was sent for the biopsy, and like when they gave me the result of that, I was just like, but all the blood tests came back clear for autoimmune, and they were like, unfortunately, the one that you've got can only be diagnosed from a biopsy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. But I felt like I was right because I knew my own body.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
And I've struggled, but all the way throughout it, I've always been a very avid prayer.
Yes. I feel like you end up leaning on it, but in a different way than you did before.
Like I was in this place of acceptance, thinking, this is not that I'm not expecting a miracle, because, if you want to bless me with a miracle, I'm down for that. But also I'm not expecting anything because I still have joy.
Exactly.
I still have joy.
And it's like, I wrote something in my journal last night. I saw a quote that was like, this side of heaven is the only side of heaven we have an opportunity to praise God in suffering.
Oh gosh, yes.
And I just thought, because there's been so many times where I've been like, I'm so sick of this. Usually, because there's always the hype of you're in hospital and people send you messages and they're like, how are you? They send you flowers. And then there's the days where you're in bed for a week and no one checks in because no one thinks about it.
Yeah, of course.
And so those times are the hardest for me. But then I wrote something in my journal last night that said something, I'm trying to remember. It said something like how I find it so awesome right now that my relationship with God is purely affection, because I can't give him anything.
Yeah.
And he's not promised me anything apart from that he's with me.
Yeah.
So our relationship right now is purely like, I want to spend time with you and that you love me, and that's all that matters. Like, whereas my whole life it's been about, I'm doing this thing, I'm serving this place, and honestly, like, a lot of it was to do with like, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, if I really want to serve somewhere, I'm like, Lord, you have to give me strength to serve in this space, because I literally cannot do it without you. Like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And so it's stripped back everything to like where it should have been, and I honestly don't think I would have learned that.
Yeah, of course.
And I would have missed out on so much. So it doesn't really bother me as much as I hate the days where I feel ill.
Yes, we all do.
It sucks, but like, also, like, God never promised us for it to be easy, if that makes sense. And I know it's really like cheesy, and everyone always says
but that's it. It does. But in the Bible, is there somewhere in the Bible here? Let's go.
I can't remember what it says.
Flowerby. Let's talk about this, because have you ever read it anywhere in the Bible where there is the clear instruction that God says, you know what, your life is going to be rosy, it's going to be full of rainbows and fluffy clouds, and
exactly.
No, we read about trial after trial, after battle after battle. It's all about that strength building, isn't it?
There's a Bible verse that says, when you pass through the waters, I'll be with you. It doesn't say if.
Yes.
It says when.
When.
Like, guarantee that it's going to happen.
Yeah, and you don't know when it's going to happen, but...
Exactly.
And I think that's really important as well, is like, even when you are in like those dark valleys where everything maybe just feels so over-consuming and overburdening, that you actually remember, actually you've been with me
Exactly.
in the good. There's no way you're going to leave me alone in this.
Yeah, and there's been so many situations, especially whilst I've been at uni, where random conversations have happened because of my illness that wouldn't have happened. Like little things that it's been wild, like the ways that God has shown up for me in the small moments. So when I was first seeking answers back in 2021.
Oh gosh.
It just so happened that there's like a doctor at our church in Richmond, and I wasn't with her for the appointment, but I was in her office, so on the back of her wall was just Bible verse after Bible verse after Bible. And then when I was in hospital for the first time, there was another uni student in the A&E waiting room. I don't know what she was in there for, but on the back of her laptop, she was doing work. She was a Christian, and it just had like Bible stickers and just things like that. And then one thing that I've had to do continuously at uni, which I've hated, is take Ubers. Like, taking Ubers is really fun when you're just feeling a bit lazy, but like when you have no other option but to take an Uber, like especially when you're tired and you just don't want to speak to anyone, and they're like usually really friendly, and you're like, please can you just be quiet. There was one time where I took an Uber and I literally prayed as soon as I got in. I was like, I don't want to speak to anyone today, like I'm just really tired. And the guy I must have just come out of church, and he said, oh, have you just been in church? And then we started a full conversation, and then like he was talking to me about what he needed prayer for, and it ended up being like a massive prayer request, and I got to pray with him. And like I would never have got to do that if I wasn't in that Uber.
in that situation. So one of my things, because of my condition, whenever I go and see the consultant, it's on the dialysis ward. And obviously people that normally have kidney problems are a lot more advanced in years. The more mature person. I'd like to think I'm mature.
The seasoned.
Yes, the seasoned. I like that. Add a bit of salt and pepper, blah, blah, blah.
Cajun.
Chicken tikka. But I've had some really beautiful conversations. Like, in fact, the book that I've just lent you, I was reading that at one point. And like that sparked some conversations, and they were just like, oh, do you have a faith? And I was, what did they want me? What were they expecting me to turn around and say? No, I just thought I'd pick this up from the library. Do you know what I mean? But it sparked off some really good conversations, and just being able to have those discussions and like them say, how are you finding your faith in all of this? And it's so easy to turn around and say, I don't believe, I don't understand why he would do this to me. Because it's just simply not that way.
Exactly.
It's just things happen. I'm a true believer that things happen for a reason, and not any other reason other than his. There's a plan and a purpose in it. Our job is to find it.
Exactly. We might never understand, and don't get me wrong, like I've had questions of like, why? At the end of the day, it's not him that's doing it to us. Like it's the enemy. And I think there's been something that I've really struggled with is, obviously I've had so many good conversations with people about my health, especially young people, young Christians who, like, using mobility aids is not the norm for my generation, like, let's be honest. And I've had so many good conversations with people like that, but I've often had the questions for God of like, you could have used me in any other way that meant that I wouldn't have suffered. Do you know what I mean?
Why?
Like, I know I'm doing this for your kingdom, but like, I could have this same conversation like fully well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I just hate the fact that he was using me as almost advertisement. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I've never thought about it in that context, actually.
and it made me, like, I say this because you have to be truthful, that it made me honestly so angry, because I was like, yeah, all glory to God, but like, how come your glory is coming from my suffering?
Yeah.
But the issue is, like, not the issue, sorry, the actual fact of it is that, like, it's not him that's making you suffer, it's the enemy.
Yeah.
And then you'll get to heaven and he'll explain his plan, and you'll be like, thank goodness I didn't choose anything else, or that you didn't heal me, or that you healed me in your timing.
Yeah.
Because if he had healed me on day one, I would have gone back to my, like, people pleasing, burnt out, like, doing everything for the wrong reasons person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you don't see what he's doing. It's almost like, I don't know. Well, we're currently sat here painting, or at least
I was going to say, we are actually doing crafts whilst we're recording this.
And so it's kind of like a painter. Like, there's a finished product, and the whole process, you don't really know what's going to happen unless you're the actual artist yourself.
Yeah.
And if you had just done it like half complete, then you would have wasted so much potential.
That's a good way. So one of the things that that I found on this journey so far, and I'm only like, just over a month into this now, was like, I remember speaking to my partner, and I was just like, something has to give. I was just like, I can't carry on like this. And I have been struggling with quite a few things. I was just like, I just don't have time.
Yeah.
I was just like, I just don't have time to be everywhere at once, or arrange, do you know what I mean? Like, consultants and other appointments, they're available during the week, but when I was available at weekends, they're not. And I was just like, something has to give.
Because it's not always the symptoms, it's the paperwork, it's the appointments, it's the scheduling that's the draining part, at least in my opinion.
Do you know one of the most draining, I keep stopping and starting now, but one of the things that I find most draining for me is because I have to watch potassium, I have to watch phosphorus, I have to watch my salt, I have to be mindful of sugars, right? So by the time you have sat and researched what you can eat, gone and got the ingredients,
you're exhausted.
I've then got to cook it all from scratch.
Yeah.
Because convenience foods, even if it's like a frozen ready meal, are not that good for people with CKD, because it's full of salt, it's full of phosphorus, it's full of potassium. So I've got no option but to try and cook from fresh.
And then sometimes you're just exhausted.
I then don't want to cook, because I was just like, all of my mental capacity has gone.
You feel like you have to rely on people. Like, when I was at uni, there'd be some days where I'd call my friend who lived down the road and be like, whatever you're cooking for dinner, make two. Because I can't do it.
Physically can't.
Exactly. And like, there was people so often judge you for what they don't know. So like, I literally lived off frozen pizza for the last 2 weeks of uni because I had no energy, because I was revising. So it was like revision or cooking, because some days, like, a shower is like the only thing I have energy for. And so
you've got one up on me, because I struggle with that sometimes.
You should get a shower stool. I've got a spare one, you can have it. Anyway, you can have it. They sent me 2 by accident, but
really,
I just use it as a bedside table. You can have it.
Oh my gosh.
I also have anyway, talk to me later. I'm
discovering new things about each other here.
I'm 5 years down the line, and honestly, there are so many things at home that I use which people don't see, which is another part of like the invisibility of illness. Like, I have a frame, like a hospital frame around my bed, because I can't take myself out of bed because my bed's too high. And like, I have mobility aids that I use at home. I have a shower stool. I have like a grabber in the shower because I get really dizzy in the shower.
That's one of the things that I find. Even on the coldest setting, it can be too hot sometimes.
Exactly. Because my heart rate increases, because with POTS, what happens when you're in heat, which is why I find summer so difficult, is everyone else's blood vessels constrict and go tighter
Yeah.
to like push the blood around your body, because you're using more energy when you're hot. But with POTS, they go floppy.
Right.
So basically, it's like you're running a marathon when you stood still.
Oh gosh.
My heart rate will be in the 170s, which thankfully is under control now. But so there's loads of things at home which I use which people don't see.
Yeah, of course.
And it's hard because people see like the you've put makeup on version of yourself, and
because it's called masking.
Exactly. I found that is something that I found so difficult. People, I don't
look ill.
Exactly. What is it about physical appearance? I'm like, I've got a chronic illness. I'm not ugly. Like,
yeah. Like, you're not ugly.
I might be chronic, but I am still iconic. So.
Oh yes, I like that.
But like people, the thing is, like there are some days, like you saw me last week, I look really ill.
Yeah.
And then there's some days where I look really ill and I feel fine. And there's some days where I feel like I look fine, but I feel awful. And so, especially when I'm at church, people, just because they don't know what to say, they'll base how they think I feel based on what I look like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. But sometimes it's
not that simple. It's not that black and white.
No, like there's different outfits. Something you'll realise if you have a chronic illness, there's different outfits and different looks that you wear depending on what appointment you're going to. Like, if I want a doctor to take me seriously, I'll look awful. If I want them to take me seriously, but then also, like, not gaslight me, I'll look like a little bit fine. It's so crazy because you think that every doctor would just listen to you. That's not how it works.
No.
And it's so difficult.
Yeah, I get that.
Especially in the first year or so, because you're just not used to it. Like, you grow up reading, like, you know, like little kids' books that are like, this is what happens when I go to the doctor. Or it's like a really nice, like, little animal that's like, oh, have a sticker. There's doctors that have, like, for the longest time, like, they put me down as a psych patient on my medical record because they thought that I was hysterical. And I nearly got sent to a mental hospital. And then it took me a long time to get that taken off my record. And then I got diagnosed with POTS and they were like, oh, yeah, of course. I'm like, So, yeah, I'm very, like, the discussion needs to happen.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Of course. How would you find, like, your singing worship has been like?
It's changed so much because I used to be on worship team like most weeks, and I dropped from like being in both locations for worship to one, which was a smaller, like there were less people, and then I went from that to having to sit on a stool during worship, and then I went from having to stop completely because I couldn't stand up for that long. And it frustrated me because, unfortunately, like, I don't know, I'm not saying anything bad about churches in general, but there is such like a image of what church should look like. And if you are sitting down all the time, they're like, well, how does this correlate with the joyful, like, happy clappy?
Because sometimes life isn't joyful.
Exactly.
Sometimes life is hard.
Exactly.
Sometimes you aren't in the middle of that, hey, arms up in the air, let's worship.
Exactly.
You're fighting an internal battle.
Exactly. And you can be happy clappy sat down. There's nothing stopping you from but yeah, I couldn't, I was just too dizzy on stage, so I just couldn't focus. But that's when I recorded the stuff behind the scenes, because when I was going through all the diagnosis and appointments, I also was recording music.
You are a woman of many talents, you.
Thanks, Queen.
I am sat here watching you do some beautiful artwork. I'm a little bit jealous. I am making a bracelet.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, I'm trying.
But, yeah, it looks really good. But yeah, I found recording music really difficult because the recording studio was in a dark room for just, I don't know why it was dark, but it was. And so I think one thing that people don't realise is when you record music, I think people think that you sing it once and it's done. Whereas actually what you hear, like the finished result of me singing, is actually layers of my voice. So there's about 20 takes in one.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to sound exactly the same. So I found it difficult with my fatigue because I was there every Tuesday for about 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted.
Wow, that's a long time.
In the dark as well, so I was just falling asleep.
Yeah, of course.
But
I find that actually my worship's got louder.
Yes, it's more authentic.
Yes, like it comes from within the soul.
It's like David in Psalms, isn't it?
Yes.
He always started with like, this is what's awful, and he always ended with like, praise God for this.
Yeah.
I think there's lack of room in the church. I mean, the church as a whole, like Big C, for like lament.
Yeah.
I think there's such a culture of, we need to fix this right away, or God is good all the time. The thing is, God is good all the time, but also you cannot have a relationship with him unless you say to him, look, I'm mad at you about this, or I'm really disappointed with you about this.
I completely agree with that. And I always say, you know, God wants to know about everything. He doesn't just want to know about the good stuff. He wants you to be brutally honest with him. He cares about it.
I've had many kick and scream toddler tantrum in front of God. But yeah, I think it's a difficult one because I grew up in the church believing that like, if you have any doubt or like if you have any frustration, that's often doubt, whereas the thing is like, it's not.
No.
And I struggle with that so much that I nearly walked away from my faith.
Oh gosh.
Like maybe a few months ago.
Really?
And yeah, I didn't walk away from my faith as in like, I always believed that God was real. That never is ever a question in my mind.
Yeah.
But it was more that like, I couldn't pick up my Bible and I couldn't pray because I'd kind of been conditioned into believing that I had to do it a certain way. And when I couldn't do that anymore, I was like, well, why would you want to hear from me?
Yeah.
And I also had the thought of like, if he already knows what I'm about to say, then why do I need to say it? Because I have really bad brain fog, and unfortunately that goes into prayer as well. The same way I find it really hard to have conversations with people now, I find it really hard to pray. And there was a time where I prayed, I was like, I don't care if you heal me, but at least make this easier because I need to be able to pray. And he didn't do that, again, for the reason that like I had to mess up and I had to not say it correctly, if that makes sense.
He just wants you to be your true authentic self, doesn't he?
Exactly. Like I have a laugh now when I'm praying to God because I'm like, oh, I completely forgot what I was saying. You have to deal with that. And I'm like, you probably know anyway. It's fine. Or like I'll fall asleep halfway through a sentence.
I used to write. Oh my gosh. So yeah, flower bee. This is something that I've had to get used to, right? Falling asleep whilst praying. I used to feel so guilty. Guilty. And then like, it was actually my partner, he said, why do you feel guilty about feeling so comfortable in God's presence that you fall asleep praying?
Yeah.
And I was just like, do you know what? I've never thought of it like that.
Someone once told me that it's like when a toddler's trying to have a conversation with their mum late at night when they don't want to fall asleep, then when they're trying to procrastinate going to bed. And they feel so comfortable that they end up just falling asleep halfway through a sentence.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't think anything bad about it. I think we just put so much pressure on ourselves to sound like a certain way.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you have to do it this way. You have to make sure you say this. You have to make sure you say that.
But how much do you miss out on? Like, I would never, like, for example, with my parents, if I was mad at them, I'd tell them. Like, I'd never not.
How would they know?
Exactly. And then you'd live. Imagine if we just spoke to our parents in, like, a formal way, like we do with prayer. And then we're like, or we approached God like, oh, you probably don't want to know this. Or like, I've sinned and I don't want to talk about it. And he's like, all right, well, in your own time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because, you know, half of the repentance is actually acknowledging the sin.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
You have to. But, I don't know, things are never just black or white, are they? So,
no.
It's so difficult, but there are so many different ways you can worship as well. Like, for example, what I'm doing right now.
Yes.
I love doing art. But yeah, I'm still in that process of trying to like, I said to God, I was like, I just want to go back to the basics. Like, I want to pretend that I've never read the Bible before.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because I met someone, I was doing revision we have a place in York called The Well, which is like, if you've ever heard of the 24/7 movement of prayer.
Yes.
It's like a prayer house that's open all the time. And on a Thursday, it's open the whole day.
All right.
For like group prayer.
Yeah.
But it's also just a lovely hangout space, so I go in there and revise because it's got sofas and cushions and this guy came in because it's open to the public.
Of course, yeah.
And he was a tourist from a different country, and he didn't know anything about Jesus. And so whilst I was sat doing my psychology work, my pastor of my church was just sat with him, basically going from the start of like who Jesus is. And it was after that day, he gave his life to God in that moment.
Oh.
And I know, it was just amazing. And I remember leaving and sitting waiting to catch the bus, and I was like, I've missed out on so much because I'm trying to interpret the Bible without asking God about it first. And so I kind of prayed. I was like, I've gotten to such a rough patch not with my faith, it was where I thought I was supposed to be. Like, he never held me to that standard. That I was like, I just want to go back to the start and pretend like I don't know anything about like the crucifixion, the resurrection, anything, and just read it afresh. And I did, and it honestly, I'm still doing that now. Like, it's just great. Like, and I said, I was like, I don't want to know anything about how to do prayer. I just want to have a conversation. And
yeah,
it's so much better because I wasn't doing it in the wrong way or missing out on anything, but also it's just so much more like freeing now.
Yeah.
So
I really like that concept you said, like talking to him as if he is your father, as opposed to because we acknowledge him as the King of Kings. Of course we do.
Yeah.
Like, he has all power, all authority. He is above everything, but also talking to him as if he is your father.
Yeah. Which I know that
'Cause he
concept
is
is hard for some people, but like, understandably.
That's what forms a relationship. Isn't
Exactly.
it? And that's what it all is.
It's just fun. Like, it's supposed to be fun, like understanding things and learning things. Whereas I think people assume that like you're not doing it right if you're not spending one time a day opening a Bible and writing things down. And I'm like, it's not all about that life. Like, I got so tired with my chronic fatigue that I couldn't dress myself, I couldn't wash myself, so someone else had to do it for me, which is the part of like, people don't ever, people don't know that. So you're stripped of a lot of things. And then like, I also couldn't read information apart from when I was doing my degree because I had to.
Yeah.
And so my version of what a Bible study would look like previously just went to pot.
Yeah.
So for me, it was putting on instrumental music and just sitting in silence. And like, do you know what I mean? It looks different for me every day.
That's great.
So
because you can adapt how you worship, how you praise, how you pray.
Like, there's someone in my church in York who, like, they are a dancer, so in worship you'll just turn to your right and they've found a spare place in the room and they'll be doing like pirouettes. I'm like, go for you, like, good for you. Like, and then there's someone else who brings their art to church and just paints throughout the service. And I'm like, this is what it should be about.
Yeah, realistic.
So, yeah, it's fun discovering things. I like it.
Right, I'm going to sign off now because I've had you talking for quite a little while.
Just yapping.
But it's been beautiful because we've sat around a table and we have done craft and we've had a really good conversation about hidden illnesses and faith as well.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for your time. You're welcome. So everyone, I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and another one will be out in the following month or two. I think I am maybe going to shake things up a bit again because, you know, I have time for that. I don't really, but when it comes to faith stuff, I can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it. So it doesn't feel like it's work. It just feels like I'm sharing my life with people so that they too can experience it the way I've managed to experience it.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to spread that word. So yeah, until next time, keep smiling, stay strong, and know that you are loved. Goodbye for now.